Hey everybody, welcome to episode 29 of Natty and Not. We are your hosts.
I am Alexis and I am Natty.
I'm Mike, and I'm not. One thing that I was thinking about this past
Hmm.
week was my favorite muscle group to work out. And
Okay. What's
it
your
used,
favorite muscle group to work out?
so it used to be arms because I was just like,
Really?
yeah, yeah. And I
Is
think
that
I
because
think
you're so strong?
no, well, I mean yes, but no.
Because
I don't
you're
know.
so
It's just
strong?
it seems like that's like the most showy muscle in like a summer environment, right? Tank top or at the
To like
pool.
regular people?
Yeah,
To like
yeah,
non-bodybuildery people, like your
yeah,
arm size?
yeah. I think there's definitely a little bit
The whole
of
like, let's show me your bicep
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but now I have to say, I think it's my back or my chest. I don't know. I really enjoy those days a lot. Um, Probably say
Hmm.
back first, then chest.
You're not saying legs.
I do like legs. I like legs a lot more.
So you
Honestly,
like all of the things.
I think a lot. No, so if I had to rank them, it would probably be back, chest, legs, arms. I think like arms I like enjoy doing, but it's like I don't look forward to it like I used to. And I don't know what that is. I'm just like I enjoy it, and like it's. But if I'm ranking them now, like I really enjoy my leg days, and I like having big old quads, and
So I have a
but
thought.
that's how I would rank them now.
I have a thought. So like you're saying you don't know why those are your least favorite. I have an idea because my least favorite day is shoulders.
Oh, I
And
was
I
gonna
don't
I was gonna
I no,
say
I don't have an
your
arm
chest day.
day. I have chest day. My arm day. Well, chest, hold on. I don't do chest, so it's not in my ranking. Let's just say I'm gonna put it out there like that.
Okay.
Okay. Because I don't do chest. I maybe do one exercise a week. That's it. But I don't do chest. Anyway, I was gonna say arm day.
Hmm.
Not arm day. You said arm day. Me
Yeah.
say shoulder day because I have a shoulder day. And while I think my shoulders are like my favorite part of my body, like if I were to say I am genetically gifted, right? Because everyone's like got that like one body part that outshines the rest.
Mm.
For me, I think it's my shoulders. I think like I even think back to like before I ever lifted weights and I was like a dancer, I
Mm.
always had like shapely shoulders. So I feel like that's what are you like, what muscle are you really good at?
Mhm.
That's mine, it's my shoulders. Anyway,
Okay.
but it's my least favorite day. And I think it's because it's such a small muscle group. I don't feel like
Yeah.
I got a crazy workout, right? Like back day, I leave and I'm gassed. Leg day, I leave and I'm gassed. Shoulders is such a small muscle group. So when I leave, I'm like, I'm not gassed. I don't feel that same sense of accomplishment after the workout.
There's not as much system fatigue.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's the same. I wonder if that's why for you. Because
Maybe
arms are like your small, not to say you have small arms, but smaller muscles in
compared
comparison.
for sure compared to my others. Yeah,
Do
no,
you feel that way?
no, I don't know if I feel that way, but I think, and it's funny you were talking about shoulders because like my shoulder, so I do a push pull split, so my shoulders are built into my push pull days, so I don't
Hmm.
have a dedicated shoulder day. Um, I do enjoy
I
working
do
those.
sometimes. I don't all the time, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I enjoy working those out, but yeah, I totally forgot to say that, but I was like, "Oh, wait, yeah, I do shoulders too," but it's not its own day. It's part
Yeah.
of push or pull, so I don't know, I think yeah, I don't know. I'm, like, not as I think my arms are okay. They definitely need to come up, like, but I think my bodybuilder dysmorphia is like, everything needs to get bigger.
I don't think that
But
your arms necessary. I wouldn't say your arms aren't like a weak body part. Like when you're trying to bring everything, you're trying to bring everything up. There isn't like one muscle that has to catch up. I'm sorry. To bring it up to me thinks like you have to
it's
you have
weak.
to
Right.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
weaker muscle. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your arms by no means are your weak point.
I don't think they are. I'm just like I just enjoy them. I don't enjoy them as much as I do. I used to love arm day, especially like with my previous coaches. I was just like, I don't know why. And I think it was
Mm,
just like a mental, I think it was like a very bro-ish kind of ego type of muscle group.
got it.
And which is a lot of the reason why we were talking about today, like a lot of guys don't work out their legs, or like not like they should, at least.
Because they like
And
working their upper body so much because it makes
yeah,
them feel more broy.
yeah, it's I could wear long shorts, fuck it. I could hide a lot under there. But
You know what's really funny too is like your quads are massive.
yeah, they're getting
Like
big.
your quads are absolutely massive, and I love your big giant quads. I love them so much. They're like
Mhm.
one of my favorite parts of you,
Well, thank you.
and I think I like them so much, and I find that like so attractive because okay, the percentage of men in general that are like like big and short, let's just say even average sized man,
Mhm,
there's very few that are in the same like level of condition and
mhm,
like shape, right?
mhm.
So that puts you in like that small percentage as it is. And then out of those guys, most of them don't really do leg day.
I know. Yeah, it's very small.
They're very like they're extremely top heavy. They're men's physique competitor level. Like they just don't have legs. So out of like all of like the super fit dudes, which is already a small percentage, you're part of the even smaller percentage that has these big old giant quads, big old legs, and I like it. So
I'm
I think your quads are my favorite.
I'm getting excited over here. Um, Thank you. That's
You're
really nice.
welcome.
I love, since you're telling me what muscle you love on me, I
Mhm.
love your back and your
You've been
legs.
talking to me. You've been telling me how nice my back is lately. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, your back and your legs go back, and they switch 1 and 2 for me all the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
But definitely, like, your back is awesome, so I
Thank
enjoy
you.
looking at it, especially when you're all tanned up and on stage. It looks good.
My back pose, I've been told is really good.
Mhm.
I think partially too is like I have good shoulder caps and that ties into it.
Your shoulders
It's
are
so
great. Yeah.
funny. It's like so that's what you like to work the most and the least. When it comes to like weak body parts, what hurts the absolute most, my quads are by far the weakest thing on my body. My quads and my abs. And it's more of just the way that my abdomen post children is just shaped now. And there's not a whole lot, as much as I try. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, and that's just frustrating. It's the way my body's shaped. But like my quads, I spent so long this past off season because I feel like quads lost me my first place in the open last year at OCB. I feel like if my quads were a little bit better, I would have won. But that's always been my weak point. And my quads are the last thing on my body to come in. Like that's so frustrating. But I think I did a really good job this past off season. Oh, so I love to work my quads, but I also hate to work my quads at the same time. So it is the thing I love to do the most because I need to do it. And I get so angry, like, come on. But also they hurt so bad. So I hate it.
Mhm.
So it's a very love-hate relationship. But what I was going to say is I think I've done a good job building my quads this year. My legs are measuring almost 3 inches larger than they were last year at this time, which
That's
is
awesome.
fucking insane. I mean, that's a huge jump.
You can see it in the
But
pictures too. That one side by side that you did, this prep versus last prep, huge difference.
huge difference, huge difference. And I'm changing my posing around even too with like my front pose because I used to kind of cheat it and turn my toes out a little bit to make my quads like sweep more. It's just like a posing trick, right?
Yep.
And now and it's making me like open my legs. Like there's like air between my legs.
Mhm.
But if I bring my toes together, I can actually like rotate and like dig into my quads more, so parallel. And my like there's no gap right now. Like my legs are touching. I'm like, motherfucker, they look so good. But I think the reason why this past off season for me started essentially in January of 24. That's when we joined Golds.
Oh,
They didn't have like the same equipment at the Y.
yeah.
Like
That's
most specifically, like the hack squat.
that's interesting. Yeah.
They didn't have a
What
hack
have you been
squat.
doing predominantly in your program? Has it been hack squat or pendulum?
She'll rotate. I rotate.
Okay, so back and forth between blocks.
Yeah. I'll go back and forth. Um, I haven't been relying on squats. I've barely squatted at all this past year because I can't push the same amount of weight and stimulate as much growth as I can on the other machine. So having the hack and the pendulum.
My screen froze with my eyes closed, and it made me feel like my eyes were closed, and I was like, "Stop it!"
I
Did you
just
see it
looked at
too?
you and you did this. It looked like you did the slowest blink. And I was like, oh, are you okay?
No, the screen just froze,
That
and
was really funny.
I saw my eyes closed, and then I was just like, I felt like that scene in The Matrix where uh Neo's getting interviewed by the agents, and then they sew his mouth shut, and I was, or his mouth gets like skinned over or whatever, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Stop it!" Sorry.
That was
As
so funny.
you were saying, sorry.
But we have a pendulum and we have a proper hack, which the Y never had.
Yeah, and we got a belt squat
Um,
too.
a belt squat. Yeah, I did a lot of belt squat this past year.
I want to start doing that one too.
And we have like proper squat cages. So like the times I did get into that machine, like the squat rack, I pushed a lot more because we have a proper rack, which we didn't have at the Y. So yeah, I wonder if I feel like that's a huge component. I just have access to much more
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the
and better equipment.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And they allow me to go really close to failure where like the machines at the Y, I didn't feel safe bottoming out. Like that leg press was like weird. Um, but those other machines, yeah. So I kind of like I was just thinking like what's different?
Mm.
And I think that's it. Plus I worked my quads like 3 days a week this year too. So that probably had something to
Yeah,
do with it.
yeah. It feels like were you doing that last off season 3 days a week?
I had no, I think quads I ended up working once or twice.
Mm.
Um, but this year, even if I had like a glute ham day,
Mm.
whether coach programmed it or not, I went and just jumped on like the leg extension. Any day I was working legs.
Gotcha.
So I added that in a little bit myself because I was like, these are fucking gonna grow. Curious your thoughts. The NPC IFBB, Tyler Mannion just
Mhm.
came out and they announced that the NPC is partnering with, was it NASM, NSAM?
Yep.
They do all, I can't remember, National Academy Sport. No, that's probably not right. Anyway, they do a lot of like fitness certification, coaching certification,
Mhm.
nutrition certifications,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. They're like one of the most popular ones for people to get some sort of like personal training cert or whatever.
Right.
Some gyms require you to have that one if you're going to work there. So they just announced they are partnering with them to create their own coaching certification. And then I think he alluded to something like he'll give those coaches some sort of an advantage, maybe, or like point to them in like a database. So if you were looking to become like a new bodybuilder and you needed a coach, you could go shopping on their list or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, that makes sense. Then you could be like, here's the IFBB certified coaches, right? Or
Yeah.
essentially.
So what do
That's
you
that's
think?
that's interesting.
I'm really curious your thoughts on what you think they're going to include in that. Because their whole thing was like safety. And this is coming off of, I think like 2 weeks ago, there was a bodybuilder female that passed away from dehydration. She wasn't even in prep. She was just
Mm.
taking stuff. Her coach has since like come out and done like
I saw,
post
yep.
like a TikTok or something. But yeah, they're like, we want our, this is what stuck with me that I don't really believe. He said that they want, their athletes to be safe and healthy. So that's why they're putting that together. So I'm curious what your thoughts are about that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting approach to, I think, solve a problem, right? I think the industry, similar to like the NFL or like the NBA, I think they try to solve as many problems as like they can with what's with like the power they have within their organization, right?
Mm,
And similar to like when football players are getting brain damage and they're having like long-term systemic brain damage, and they're doing all these things with like helmets and concussion protocols, and they're trying to keep the players as safe as possible so that they don't have
hmm
this like ongoing brain damage, right? And so similar to like bodybuilding, I think they're stepping in and they're like, okay, there's a need for this. I think that I'm assuming the population is asking for this in some way, shape, or form. They're like,
mm,
hey, how are you going to get involved and keep these athletes safe? Right?
mm.
You can't
Okay.
you can't have this bad publicity of like bodybuilders dropping dead, especially with like social media being as big as it is. That
Yeah.
So I think that that's probably what it is. Is like it's their best effort to get involved and try to educate better and mitigate some of these issues, because when somebody dies, right, that's a huge headline. um it's like,
So,
it echoes through all the social media influencers. That's kind of like my
yeah.
take on it, is like they're getting involved, and this is probably the avenue that they think will help the most,
So
or it could be a money grab.
here's my thought though too, because it's a really interesting take, like equating it to like football.
Yep.
But as you say that, it you're like you're saying, could the part of the reason could be that they're trying to take responsibility, excuse me, try to make sure that people are safe and healthy. So right, you don't have all of these things happen. So the NFL, I don't know what else they do. If they've like, well, they change how you can hit somebody. They put new rules in, they
Correct. Yep.
penalize
Yep.
players, right?
Yep.
So
That's one of the things I forgot to say. Yes. Yeah.
they're actively penalizing people for
Yeah, like
doing
head-to-head,
it
helmet-to-helmet combat or
wrong.
helmet-to-helmet contact is,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a foul.
Right.
Yep, penalty.
But here's my take on it from the NPC, from that perspective of like, oh, we're gonna try, because he came out and he said like they're gonna try to keep their athletes safe, blah, 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 right? The people that are the biggest win. The people that are the most shredded win.
What are
The
you trying to
women,
say?
no,
Keep
no,
going.
no, but
Keep going. It's a good thought.
listen,
Keep going. Keep going.
the women are like ridiculously lean. There are a ton of virilization, visibly impact things that are impacting all of these athletes that you can tell, okay, that's not healthy.
Mhm.
Whether you do it or not, I'm not, do whatever you want. If you're fine with the way that as a female, like that makes you look fine. But like clearly you can tell there's some sort of hormonal imbalance that's going on, right? So you can see probably not healthy the way they should be
Yeah,
functioning on the inside.
sure.
but you reward that.
Yep.
So I feel like it's
Big
just
time.
lip service.
To the
Right.
tune
It's
of
just like,
like 400K at the Olympia.
well, then plus like for the men's categories, right? Because for the women's categories, they're not you're not weighed as a woman. Men, you have to hit a certain weight. Every year they bump the weights up,
Mhm.
right? I mean, since you've been looking at it, let's just say
It's
the
not
last
every
couple of
year, but
years.
like since I've actively been a member, it's gone up. Yep.
Okay. So they're increasing the weights. So they're essentially saying, "Oh yeah, you could get bigger. Sure, go ahead." So they keep changing the criteria essentially to
Sure.
win, to
Yeah.
be the biggest, the leanest, so much so that they have to keep adding new categories because their entry class becomes
Not entry anymore.
correct, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like that's what you're rewarding. So if you really truly gave a shit about your athletes, their health, their well-being, if you truly cared, you would not reward that person on stage. You would reward somebody that maybe came in slightly softer or slightly this if they met that criteria for the category. Because like you look at bodybuilders 20 years ago compared to now, I mean, it's incredibly different.
Yeah.
Incredibly different.
Yep.
So it's like as long as the person that's clearly using, I mean, they're all, most of them, 90% are clearly using. As long as that's what you keep rewarding, it doesn't matter what you slap your name on. It doesn't matter how much you say you want to get people healthy if like your actions don't follow your words. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they're encouraging it. They're
Yeah.
encouraging it
I
by
think
not,
you're.
but not saying they're encouraging it.
Yeah. It's. I'd be surprised if the weight cap goes up again, like anytime soon. I think. I
But
think
they
it.
still keep rewarding that though.
Sure. I mean, yeah. It's, heavyweight, right? Look at heavyweight. It's get as big as you can get. That's and but that's very small percentage of people competing in that.
No, no, no. But I think you missed my point. The point is like they're saying they want to keep people healthy,
Yeah.
but
They're
they're
saying they want
not
to.
rewarding it.
Yes, sure. I mean, but they're not gonna. I think they want to try to manage it as best they can.
Sure.
Right? They're trying to rein it in as much as possible. Is what I think they're trying to do.
I wonder, I really wonder if and maybe one of us will like buy it and go through it at some point. But I wonder if they get into PED usage and suggested
That's
usage
yeah,
and side effects and all that stuff, right? Because they're trying to say that they're putting their name on it as if they're promoting something healthy. Whereas like J3U, for example,
right.
they get into every single compound, pros, cons, when to use, starter
Side
dosage,
effects, how to
what to
mitigate.
look for.
Yep.
I mean, they're giving you a blueprint because they're at least their thought is, and maybe you're like, well, you shouldn't fucking do that. People are going to use it whether they want to or not. So they might as well get the best information they can.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
He's acknowledging, they've created their own company. So they're acknowledging like, yeah, this happens. Let's have you be as safe as possible while you're doing these things. So I really wonder in the other one
If they're going to offer some type
if
of
they're going to offer
PED
that.
education. Yeah. I hope they do. I hope they do.
I hope they do because that's the reality of the sport. But I wonder for in like their whole scape of we want people to be healthy if it won't include that.
Yeah, it's funny because they'll never. I've never seen any, especially anybody IFBB like executive related, come out and say like, oh yeah, people are just blasting gear and cycling all the time, and
Mhm.
and it's just the sport, right? And they'll never do that because they still need the protein deals and the sponsorships and everything else, right? And because it's whey protein that gets everybody fucking 300 pounds plus.
Right.
and
Get
creatine.
C-Bum's protein. It's gonna make you
Yeah,
as big as
yeah,
him.
yeah. Get the super Thabbage. That's what got him so fucking big. Um, so it's just like but they'll the executive.
Macro Mike.
Yeah,
We wanna deal with Macro Mike. That would be so great. Look at
that'd be.
this, your plant protein. This is what makes you so big.
I don't think we're their brand
And
of athlete.
Primobolan.
Brought to you by Macro Mike
Brought
and
to you by
Trimbalone.
Macro and Tretbolone. No, you've never done Tren and Mastron.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Winning combinations.
Yeah, it, they'll never come out. The executive of those companies will never come out and say that.
No,
At
they
least
never
not
will.
publicly, right? But they know, and
How do you
it
not know?
it'll
Jesus.
be yeah for sure, and it'll be interesting to see if that does include some type of PED education because
Yeah.
I think they're also seeing like J3U and they're seeing like there's a couple of influencers that they all sell like a PED education module or course or
Well, because people need
group
the
or
information.
whatever.
You're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
People are going to do it whether you tell them to do it or not. So instead of going to like random YouTube channels, put the science behind it, present it in a way that we're educating you on what this is. Like put the education out there.
Agreed.
You're going to
Yeah.
save more lives by putting out proper education than you would not doing anything on it at all. I mean, if you really want talking about like how do you save a life of someone that's like pushing themselves or like this other person who, she wasn't even in prep, she was taking diuretics and died.
Yeah.
Was she truly
That's
educated
what.
on it? I don't know.
Yeah. My coach doesn't push diuretics at all.
Mm-mm. No,
So
God, no.
I wouldn't do it anyway.
But that they go over those in J3. You were like, look, and they even say don't do this, but this is what this does to the body, and almost in a way to deter, like they're
yeah,
not saying this is what's going to help because a dehydrated body doesn't look good on stage,
sure.
but it's like this is
There's
why,
there's ways to do
and
it.
if someone does this,
There's
this
ways to
is
do it
what you need to
without
do.
drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yep. That'll be really interesting. Really
Yeah.
interesting.
What else?
So the other thing I wanted to talk about was this has come up a little bit in just some things I'm seeing and some things I'm reading. Discipline.
Oh.
Because it's come up a few times recently, just in conversations with people. The lack of discipline the average person has, or even like a regular gym goer. Because I've had a couple of people like, oh man, how do you do this or how do you do that? Like I had like some young girl at the gym said something to me the other day, like nice. And she's just like, what do you do? I'm like, it's the same thing. I work really hard. I eat for what I'm trying to do.
Consistency.
I'm consistent. Like honestly, it's boring. I'm like, there's no quick thing. It's incredibly boring. Do the same workouts every week. I eat the same foods. Sometimes I eat more. Sometimes I eat less. It's the mental discipline. But where I struggle with it and I find it incredibly frustrating are people that say they have this goal, right? So you have a goal of being incredibly jacked or, you want to lose 50 pounds. Maybe you just kind of want to look a little bit better. Maybe you don't look terrible, but like you want to look better. But then not following through because you're comfortable is frustrating me.
Or changing it, or the change is uncomfortable, right?
But it's like choose the uncomfortable though. Like choose your heart. It's hard to be out of shape and unhealthy. It's hard to be fit. Like they're both hard. Just which one's going to be, better for you in the long run? Which one's going to let you live longer? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's the lack of discipline.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, something we've seen recently, right? Where you have people that are interested, but they are interested in the moment, right? They can't see they can't see past the moment. where they're just like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking do this, and then you're just like, all right, awesome. But to lock in that energy and fucking execute is so much harder than people really, you know,
That's a
understand. Or
really
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was just going to respond to something you said.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay.
For you saying that they can't see past the moment, I think that's so incredibly interesting. And I love that perspective because I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody like message me, hey, I saw you were a nutrition coach. I kind of think I want to do bodybuilding. What should I do? And I'm like, cool. Let me ask you 1,000 questions to try to understand where you're at.
Yeah.
Right. And then like they never respond. Or, they're like, oh, I want to do coaching. How much does coaching cost? And then like you put a cost on it. And like honestly, we're not very expensive because we're kind of new to it. From like a coaching perspective, like there's an online coach that like I follow her and I drool over her, and like her coaching's like $600-700 a month. And I'm like, oh my God, never. But like they hear the information because it's excited for them in that moment. So what do I need to do it? So I'm going to post in this group and I'm going to get a ton of information. But then like they ghost you. They never come back.
Mm.
Right. And like
it's the Facebook marketplace of the fitness industry. Is this still available?
So many times. Is this still available? Yeah, and then never, right? I even had like my
The equivalent is, did you fucking see this? Could I be a bodybuilder? Yeah, fucking, I'm not talking to you ever again.
Right? That's so true. Like even Step Bestie, I know she gets messages all the time where people will be like, "Oh, you look so great. Like, are you an online coach?" And then she's like, "Yeah, show me what you got. Let me see something real quick, and I'll give you like an idea of what it's like to." And then nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, people can't see past the
I
moment.
like that. It's the moment.
Yeah, people can't see past the moment. They're like, yes, I can do this. And you're like, you don't know what you're signing up for. And when people do start it, they're just like, fuck this.
So it's like, do you really want it? Do you
Yeah.
really want it? Maybe let's not go full throttle. Like, let's just, hey, let's work together and let's just do some smaller things. But it's like, it is really interesting because so many people say, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that.
Yeah.
But then the second that like it gets hard,
Yeah.
it goes away. So it's the discipline that gets you through. Like, how much do you really want that goal? It's a
Yeah.
privilege to have the means to be able to work towards a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you going to do with that privilege?
Right.
So yeah.
Throw it away.
Throw it away.
Fucking throw it down the toilet. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But it's crazy. It's like things like that. And then the other side, and this one, I don't understand this at all, but I see this every so often. You know a particular food hurts your body, but you do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like you have an allergy.
Yeah.
That causes you like distress, and then like you still move forward with it anyway. I can't tell you the number of people that like, oh, I can't have. It's always dairy. People are always have an issue with dairy. I can't process dairy. I eat too much dairy. It makes me feel really, really gross. Okay, don't fucking eat that. And to me, it's so black and white. It's like that
like,
hurts your body. Stop it.
I will right after this string cheese is done.
Hold on. I have to drink this milkshake. Like but there's alternatives to those kinds of things too, right? It's like
Sure.
It doesn't have to be an end all be all.
Yep.
But that drives me nuts. And to me, it's the same thing. Like it's they can't see past that moment of eating that thing, wanting that whatever. And then, they can't see past that moment in time where they're going to feel like garbage the next day.
Yep. That's when you're sitting on the toilet and you're saying, fucking, I hate past me. Past me is always fucking present me
Damn.
up.
Past me is always fucking me up. So yeah, so that was kind of part of that. But
Yeah.
anyway, I had a really good check-in this week.
Yeah, how'd it go? Tell me about it.
Super good. I had a very interesting week, which led to a really, really good check-in. So last week, coach cut my calories a little bit, not a ton. I
Mhm.
was supposed to be at 220 carbs, 55 fat, 180 protein. She dropped me from like, I don't remember from what the week before, but she dropped me a little bit. And so I started noticing about a week ago kind of getting gassy after meals, not like the crazy gurgly horrible upsets that I had, but just like needing to, just like an air bubble that like needed to pass, kind of gassy. So I started playing around with food amounts and like timing, and then I have one other supplement that I hadn't been taking that's it's like a digestive enzyme but for like FODMAP foods, so just
Mhm.
like a different type of enzyme. I started adding in that at like different timing is anyway. I ended up, because I was playing around with like foods and amounts and stuff throughout the week, I ended up averaging like 200 200 210 carbs a day.
Mhm.
And I was fine with it. I wasn't like, oh, I need 20 more carbs. Let me just go find it. I was like, I'm fine. My digestion is good. I'm tapping. Like I'm not gonna just go eat it because like my system's so sensitive. Anyway, I did that. I still in the 4 days. I went to hot yoga on Wednesday and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Fucking loved it.
Florida yoga.
95 Florida yoga, 95 degrees. That studio is. And as soon as you walk in, your immediate thought is, fuck, what did I, what am I about to do? This sucks.
Yeah.
Immediate thought is, I don't want to be in here.
Yeah.
But after like a couple of minutes, you don't even think about the heat anymore. I don't know.
Oh, did anybody have any bad BO?
Not that I know. I wasn't close to anybody. There were like 7 people in the class. I think the room probably has room for like 15-ish people, but I
Yeah.
wasn't like super close to anybody. I didn't smell anyone. That's a good question. But I loved it. I fucking loved it. It was great. So I did that on Wednesday. And then I came in
Nice.
today 3 pounds lighter than last week, which is crazy.
We back.
Crazy. We back. So if I would have consistently kept dropping like a half a pound to a pound, because I think like my small, before I started having these issues like 5 weeks ago, my shortest drop, smallest drop was like 0.7 pounds. So let's say I stayed in like the 0.7, 1 pound a week time frame, and I never had that problem.
Mhm.
I would have been at 135 if I was like a pound a week. Okay.
Right.
I weighed in at 136 today. So like I was making progress, but like all of that shit going on in my stomach
Yeah.
was just holding on to stuff.
Mhm.
And so I was so excited. I was like, fuck. I like stepped on the scale twice just to make sure.
Oh, yeah. I always step on that scale twice because it fucks with you. Sometimes it'll like throw me off. I don't know. I
Yeah.
always step on it
I
twice.
always do. I always do too. But like it was
Yeah.
right away, I was like, hold on. Is this right?
Yeah.
So super, super good check-in. So I feel really good. My waist is down. My waist hasn't been down in a while. I have not seen this waist measurement until since I stage.
Mhm.
But my waist is down. And then my posing and my pictures for my check-in, holy shit, huge difference from last week.
Look good. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've tweaked my side pose, tweaked my front pose. Those tweaks are huge because my body's just shaped different
Mhm.
this year than last year. Um, so those look so good. And you can visibly see how much smaller my stomach looks without like all of the digestive issues that I was having. Like no bloating, no distension. My hormones seem to be kind of like as regular as they're going to be. Like I'm not having side effects from all of that shit.
Yep.
So really good. So coach, I said, please can we keep hot yoga? Because I really loved it. We're keeping yoga in. So this week will be the same as last week. She gave me 50 carb refeed today. So that was good. I had a bagel and then I had 2 caramel rice cakes and that was really yummy. And then she said, okay, let's just keep you at 200 carbs.
Mm.
So she's like, just keep doing what you're doing. We'll just officially lower your macros to what that was.
Cool.
And I'm not like crazy hungry still. Like I'm definitely getting hungry. Like when it gets really close to mealtime,
You've been a little irritable.
I didn't say that. I've been irritable. That is for sure. But as like I get closer to mealtime,
bitchy. Go ahead.
as I'm getting closer to mealtime, I will like the hunger will flare up and it'll flare up fast.
I can
And
agree.
like if I miss a meal,
Mhm.
like work wise, I at one point I had to leave a meeting. I was like, you guys, this meeting's gone over. I have to go.
I'm out.
Because I was like, I'm gonna like throw up from hunger.
Yeah.
But other than that, it hasn't been bad. I'm not like walking around hungry 24/7.
That's good.
So it's good. And I feel good. If I sleep, if I get a good night's sleep, I feel really good. I'm not falling asleep. I'm not like laying down on the couch with like the kids after school for like a little bit. I'm not falling asleep there, which like I usually would. We're doing good. My calories are still above 2,000. We're doing good. 5 weeks to go.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? How was your
My
check-in,
check-in,
baby?
yeah, my check-in was good. I'm up a pound, which is good. So back to 223. The pictures looked
You're so
good.
big.
Pictures look good, and yeah, no big changes. Strength is definitely up this week. So this is the post food increase and PED increase.
So what you're at 4,700 calories?
Back to 4,700 calories. Yeah, it's like 4670s, whatever. It's like, yeah, call it 4,700.
Are you having a hard time with that?
No, actually. So it is hard when my meal timing gets fucked up because then I'm trying to cram so much more food in less time, which really sucks. That's when I'm like, this like is miserable. But when my meal timing's good and I wake up like at 5, do my cardio, get my breakfast in early, then my next meal at like 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, so I eat at 6, 10:30, 1:30, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And like that's all my meals. And and 8
And then
o'clock.
like 8:30.
Then like 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so 6 meals. And if I miss one, holy shit, it's so hard making that up.
Mm.
Like it's so much, it's like, and you're like, oh, boo-hoo, but like it's really just
No, I
it's
get
too
it.
much
I get
food to
it.
cram in to like, you try to combine 2 of those meals in one and you're like, whoa, like it becomes a super super chore. So but
What's
yeah,
your
when
favorite thing that you've added in?
I was just gonna say, this is my win of the week too.
Okay,
um
go.
yeah, so this is my win of the week, which is sourdough toasted. So Costco sells these like half cooked or like 3/4 cooked sourdough loaves,
Mm-hmm.
and we cut them into slices, and then I freeze them, toast them, and then I do peanut butter and jam, and they are so fucking good. I like That's like my favorite new food that I added. And the zucchinis have been really good. Digestion wise, I've
But
been really digging the zucchinis, but the fun shit is the little open face PB&Js I've been making.
yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, that's been really really good. So I've been enjoying that, and I think
You gotta go.
it's better than a bowl of cereal. So
Is it though?
yeah, it doesn't have all the dyes and shit in it.
Whatever. The dyes.
Yeah, it doesn't have
What
like
that what peanut butter?
red 40 and all that other shit that's like bad for you.
No. Well, I don't even know. But what are you eating with red 40? Oh, like the Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles, yeah, Fruity Pebbles is like
Is
half
there red
chemical.
40? Hold on.
There's
Well,
a bunch
yeah,
of, I don't know.
it's sugar.
There's like it lists the food coloring in it, and it's not great. There's like number and yellow and a number and red. I don't know which ones are the evil one that give you whatever fucking
I don't think I could even.
cancer shit. I don't know.
Oh my god, Red 40 is in Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah. Okay, it is. Yep.
Babe,
Yeah, dude. It's
you're
and
gonna
it.
get all fucked up in the
I
head.
I haven't I haven't touched that box at all.
Don't get well, and you would even let the kids have it. Don't let them
Yeah.
have it
No, I
extra.
don't. I don't. But
I was gonna say, I don't even think we buy
I was
anything that has,
crushing it
like,
all last
food.
season. You didn't say shit.
I didn't fucking know. You know what's
Yeah.
funny is because, like, most of the food that we buy, I don't think anything really has, like, fucking anything that's red is because it's, like, strawberry
No, and
or
honestly, like
berries.
I only resorted to the Fruity Pebbles when I was having a hard time getting the food down.
That's true because it
I
was,
was
like,
like,
yummy and light
yeah,
and
like
full of
for whatever
carbs.
reason, like you could just I could just eat cereal all day and not get full.
I
But
love cereal.
but
Oh,
the
I can't wait to have that when I'm off of prep. It's just like a big fucking bowl
yeah.
of cereal.
What was your win of the week?
Refiguring out my digestion and feeling like back on track with that. Cause it's been so fucking long
Mm,
and it's been scaring me. Like being like so close, right? Cause I'm 5 weeks out at this point.
right.
But like the last 2-3 days, today included, all of my intestines, like it's all calm. And it's like nothing hurts.
Good.
And like I feel good. And
Good.
that's crazy how I'm like, I if I knew what would trigger anything, I would like cut it out of my diet like instantly. Like this triggers it, gone. This triggers it, gone. If there was like a new food that you're like, do you want to try this? I don't know. Does it have all this? Like that digestive upset is like so like having it calm down is like fucking life changing. I was in such a good mood all day today because I felt good. I
Mm,
got good sleep and then like my body just feels good.
right.
I even was just like, babe, put your hand around my waist. I
Yeah, no,
never do that.
you're like, grab me by the waist. Usually you're like, don't fucking touch me.
No, because I always feel like discomfort or like
Yeah,
bloated and like
I
it's
know.
just self-conscious, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my win. My
Nice.
belly feels better.
Cool. That's a good win.
Mhm. I think
Nice.
so. Mhm, mhm, mhm.
All right. Well, I think we'll call it there. Um, we'll see you next week, or we'll see you on another time. New outro.